So today I'd like to go over prepping your generator for the season. You know, here in Texas it's hurricane season, but this is something that you should do all the time. Number one thing, do not leave your generator full of fuel. You want to drain your generator, your lawnmowers, whatever it is, you want to drain the fuel out of it, because what ends up happening is that fuel ends up setting into this bowl that I'm going to show you here in a minute, and it dries out and creates a varnish, and then your generators won't run. So you'll get spark, you'll try to crank it, it doesn't do anything, it's not getting gas, and the reason it's not getting gas is because the needle on it is trapped or stuck. So I've already come through here and taken the stuff out so I can explain the process, but again, most important, drain this thing out at the end of the year when you're not using it. And it's as simple, seriously, on this one right here, is coming over here and unhooking this hose and draining it out into a bucket or something so that the gas doesn't just sit there. Or you can come in and just unhook this hose and get you another hose, which is what I would do. So I could unhook this one here, plug another hose in, and drip it into a bucket. The best thing you can do is to run it until it's out of gas, because in that way it's going to get the gas out of the carburetor as well. So first thing I do here is I come up, I remove this cover. All generators, you don't have to do this. On this one you do. I remove the filter. This one has a little metal plate. I remove it. And then it has two screws inside of here. You got to remove, one's here and one's here. You have to remove those two screws. And then on the back over here on the side, you have this one right here that you need to simply pull off. When you do that, you can slide this piece off, and now you can get to the bowl, which is where 90% of your problems are going to happen. If you look at this bowl, it's already got a mark on it right here, and it's got two different bolts on it. It's got a bolt at the bottom, and it's got a bolt here on the side. The bolt on the side you can open up to remove any gas that's inside of it. The bolt on the bottom, which is what you end up having to remove if you've left your gas in there, you unscrew this bottom bolt right here. And then you're going to drop this little lid out. This is a brand new generator, so we don't have the problem, but you'll have this thing right here will be plumb full of like a varnish type stuff. You're going to set that to the side, and then right here, this is the float. And it's got this little bar that goes across. Be careful so that you don't lose that bar. And then you can remove the float. What you have to do a lot of the times is clean this float up and get this thing to where it's moving back and forth freely so that it will shut the gas on and off. So this little black piece tip right here is actually what shuts the gas off. So as this float moves up and down, it's going to change the height of this, which is going to allow it to allow gas inside this bowl. So you clean it out. You're going to run the gas out of it. You want to get the gas run it until it starts becoming clear. When the gas starts coming clear, then you can take this cap, or this this float, slide it right back up inside there, put your little needle on it. This has a hole inside of it here, and it's got two holes in this bar. You simply run your needle through until it catches all of them. Now, when the float has gas in it, it's going to be setting like this. So it's not going to allow gas in it. But as this thing is using gas, this float is going to drop. And when it drops, that's when it's going to allow gas to come back in until it goes back up. So that needle right there is 99% of the time, this is the problem that I see. Today with the gas, sometimes you'll be running it through, like let's say, you could be running it for a couple of days nonstop, and all of a sudden the same thing will happen. It'll get trash inside that needle. You don't always have to remove the cover on them. It depends if you can get in here and get this bowl off or not. But once you're done, you simply take your bowl, you put it back on to where this is pointing about the same spot that it was. And then you just simply screw this back on. You want to tighten it on, but you don't want to go crazy tightening it. So I'll just take a pair of channel locks. Tighten this up. So I don't want to go crazy. It's tight. Then I'm going to go through the reverse process. I'm going to put my cover back on. I don't know if that piece fit in there. Let's see. It didn't. I'm going to put my cover back on. I'm going to take my 2 bolts. I'm going to put them back on. I'm going to tighten them down, which I'm not going to do on this video. I'm just going to show putting them in place. I'm going to put my cover back on. This one here has a notch at the top. You can see it's different from all the rest. Got a couple of ears right here that catches it. I'll put my filter back in. My cover sits up here at the top, it latches. I'll hook my 2 hoses that I disconnected back up. I'll slide that on. Take my pliers, pinch this clamp, put it back in its place. Then I got to find where the last hose goes. Which is right there. Like I said, a lot of them, if you have room, you could simply undo this clip and just loosen that bottom bolt out to drop that pan. Then you would want to change your oil if you have not changed your oil in it and you've ran it. Change your oil, top it off, and have gas set aside, ready to put in it, and you'll be set. Thank you very much. Live the dream.